Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to start with. I take this opportunity to thank my God, Honorable Raila Odinga, and the people of Turkana South for electing me to represent them in this August House. Madam Speaker, CDF has undergone several evolutions, right from the Act of 2003 to the Act of 2015. Honorable Chair, CDF is something that the constituents of Turkana County have benefited a lot. Many students have gone to school. Personally, the member representing Turkana South is a beneficiary of CDF through payment of school fees. My academic achievement, my professional achievements was supported by CDF. And again, Madam Chair, being one of the employees of CDF, I was employed by CDF as fund account manager. I understand the operations of CDF, the workings of CDF. CDF has done a lot to the constituents of Turkana South. Madam Chair, I wish to say that national government CDF is a conveyor belt of national government development program to the lowest level of administration. This to say that a lot of national government activities are being undertaken through CDF. CDF is one of the funds that adds funds to county governments. So we need to appreciate CDF. Madam Chair, I wish to say that to facilitate the performance and implementation of national government programs, CDF has done this. The performance of government, because CDF is implementing some of the programs that are supposed to be implemented by national government. There is need for this fund to be anchored in the Constitution. In addition to that, Madam Chair, we need to reduce pressure that is being exacted to the leadership, the political leadership at the lower level of governance. And one of the funds that is targeting to reduce this pressure is CDF. CDF has supported so many hustlers of this nation. We need to understand that CDF is one of those funds that has targeted the lowest level of governance. If you look at how CDF operates through project management committees. It is these committees that undertake the procurement of the projects, and these PMCs normally gives contracts to the so many hustlers of this nation. That's why, Madam Chair, I support the amendment by my honorable colleagues. And also, Madam Chair.
It is Madam Speaker for now.
Madam Speaker, CDF, we know it has evolved. In the beginning, in the Act of 2003 to the Act of 2013, CDF allocation was based on total revenue of government. But if you look at the CDF Act 2015, it is based on what is allocated to the national government function. And that's why the busy bodies that were going around the streets of Nairobi and the courts of Kenya to ask courts to reject the implementation of CDF are taking us for granted, are I want to say that the persons who want CDF to be removed are the enemies of the hustlers of this nation. Madam Speaker, CDF authorizes a number of constituencies or the neighboring constituencies to pool their resources. And pooling of these resources, Madam Speaker, will enable coexistence, harmonious coexistence of these constituencies. Giving example of the county of Turkana and county of West Pokot. If the national government CDFCs come together to implement some common projects, some peace dividend projects that will enable the two communities to come together and to coexist. These projects will enable these communities to interact, to work together, to do their business together, to school together. And it is only through CDF, because the law allows the Constituency Development Fund or constituencies to work together and implement common programs. Madam Chair, Madam Speaker, I'm sorry, Madam Speaker, Engineer Kariuki, the promoter of this fund, had something in mind. And remember, Madam Speaker, again, the first devolution that has been realized in this country, the first devolution was realized through CDF. Now that CDF has done a lot, the sporting activities, the environment, we are talking about the climate change. How do we counter the climate change? We can only counter climate change through the implementation of some programs in CDF. So, Madam Speaker, I take this opportunity to appreciate, recognize and appreciate the honorable members, the good honorable members that have brought this amendment before this August House to anchor CDF in the Constitution of Kenya. Madam Speaker, I support this amendment.
Thank you, Member for Turkana South. This chance will now go to the Member for Central Imenti, Honorable Moses Kirima.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I hereby support the motion before this August House to amend the Constitution to anchor the CDF funds to proceed in developing our rural areas, and especially the areas where the central government has been very rare in the past and even in the present. The CDF Act, as it is in the year 2013, was done away by the Honorable Court because it was really not anchored in the Constitution, or it was not tailored in a way that it could work together with in devolution. It was in one way or the other colliding. There was coalition between the central government, the county government, and the activities of the CDF, where MPs used to be the patron or used to oversight. But the CDF Act of 2015, which came up with a gap and